Hello. Today I want to introduce you to my latest watch. This is the latest addition to my collection. This is the Marathon General Purpose Mechanical Field Army Wristwatch from the Marathon Watch Company. I purchased this on eBay for slightly more than $100, and as the name implies, it is a true military watch. It's one of the only watches that can be said to be sold and distributed through the United States military. As the name also implies, it is a mechanical watch. It doesn't use any batteries. It actually has to be wound. And since I have one of those now, this is my Vostok Kommandersky. I don't know if you can see that. This is from Russia. It's also a military watch. And it's a mechanical watch, and I'll tell you, I don't mind winding it. I have to wind it every couple of days. And the reason I purchased this watch is because of its tritium. This is the illumination that makes the hands and numbers glow. Now, tritium is a pretty expensive product. It is radioactive, and there's only one company in the world that manufactures tritium, and that's in Switzerland. So this is actually a Swiss-made watch, and so let's take a look. Now, the tritium watches are pretty expensive, and this is really the bottom line in terms of what you're going to get tritium for, and they range in prices. I mean, from the low of what I paid for this, which is the bottom of the barrel, all the way up to thousands of dollars if you were to get a ball dive watch, for example. And that's the beauty of the tritium, is that it continuously glows. It glows under its own power. It doesn't need to be charged by the sun or anything like that. Supposedly there are some subtle differences in brightness depending on the color of the tritium, depending on the quality and the amount of tritium used, etc. So this is how the box comes. As you can see, nothing fancy, very plain Jane. Marathon is probably not a watch you're going to trip over by accident. Now, this one came with several different in several different configurations. I got the bottom of the line because I just didn't have the money. And the next step up actually has a rotating bezel, and for $50 more, wasn't too interested in a rotating bezel. So there you go. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. There's the face. One of the things I liked about this is the fact that it has the little, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, the little nuclear symbol on the at the 3 position, and I understand that's probably required because it does, let's see here, somewhere on the case back, say that it gives off 25 millicuries of radiation. So there is slight radiation exposure. However, supposedly that is so minor that it's actually absorbed by the shell of the watch itself. Now, the one thing I really didn't like much about the watch is the strap. It's as cheap can be. But at the same time, these watches, from those people that, and I did a lot of research on this online, from those people that have them, said these are take a lot of abuse. Of course, it's what they're designed for. They're military watches, unlike Luminox, which is the big name manufacturer with respect to tritium watches. Which they tout themselves as being Navy SEAL dive watches and all this kind of stuff. That's just bull. Those watches, real Navy SEAL guys don't wear them. Quite frankly, if you want to wear what they wear, you're either going to go to a Sunto or you're going to go to a G-Shock. That's mostly what those guys are wearing, downrange, as they would say. Now, this isn't ticking. Hopefully that's because it hasn't been properly wound. One of the things that I liked about this watch is it has what's called a hackable sweep hand, second hand. There it goes, meaning that if you pull the crown out, you can stop it, which is kind of a cool feature. And the purpose for that is so that you could synchronize your watches, as you hear in all the old-time military movies. And so you can see there it stopped. And so let me get this wound. Now, of course, you're not going to see the tritium here, but it is located at each of the hour markers and on the hands. Now, the one downside is not on the second hand, unfortunately, which, you know, once you get up into the more expensive grades, those are kind of the subtle details that you end up paying for. But again, you know, I did a lot of research on this, and everyone loved them. They go for a long time. Now, the tritium doesn't glow forever. It does eventually fade after 12 years or so. It'll get a little dimmer, and it may last upwards of 20 years in terms of brightness. The shell is some kind of fiber composite. It isn't metal. It isn't plastic. The case backing is metal. It doesn't come off because there really isn't any need for it to, because it is a fully mechanical watch. So the only reason you'd be popping the back off is for repairs. Now, supposedly this is waterproof, but one of the downsides I've read from people who had complaints is that it isn't. Well, you know, unless you're buying a real dive watch, if you go to the store and get a Timex and it says water resistant to, you know, 300 feet or whatever, that's just bull too. You know, maybe you could take it in the shower, but I wouldn't take it swimming. I wouldn't take anything unless it was a real dive watch intended for, you know, underwater work, and get it good and soaked. So I don't have any intention of wearing this while I take a shower or when I go swimming in the pool or anything like that. You know, obviously I don't want it to get, you know, full of water if it rains or what have you, but certainly it should be able to withstand that. But beyond that, I you know, not really too concerned. Another thing I liked about it is that I do a lot of astronomical things, playing out with my telescope and binoculars and whatnot. A lot of times they'll put things in military time. They'll say, you know, it's 2000 hours or whatever, and I can never do that calculation in my head. So this does it for you. It has it marked next to the one, tells you it's 1300 hours or 1200 hours, etc. The crystal is some kind of plastic. Again, you know, these aren't the most expensive watches in the world. They're designed to kind of be disposable for folks, our folks in the military, and understandably, from what I've read, that they're pretty susceptible to scratching. However, I guess you can buff out the scratches, and, you know, quite frankly, if you hit anything hard enough, it's going to scratch. So again, you know, for what I paid, I'm not really super concerned about its scratchability. But it is plastic. The strap, we'll see if I like it or not. It's a very simple affair with 2 metal posts, so that's pretty easy to replace, and I'm sure it's designed that way for field use. So there you have the latest addition to my watch collection, which is the Marathon. It's general purpose, mechanical, military issued wristwatch with tritium. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been informational. Just in closing, let me say I did a lot of research on this, and it's kind of hard to find much information on these out there. There weren't a lot of great videos. I'm hoping that this is coming out pretty good, that you can see the face well, and perhaps later I will try to get some shots of the tritium. All right, signing off. Thank you.